of AKT Celebrity Reads. I'm your host, Alexis K. Tyler. I've been cooking, so I wanted to have the beautiful altar set up. I cooked some really beautiful things. I hope you enjoyed the pictures as much as I enjoyed making them. Hey, Sweet Jones TV, thank you. I have some Hershey's chocolate cake. And Nipsey wanted ice cream with it, and he wanted mint and strawberry, fresh mint in it. They're in the pictures are in the community for I have strawberry, blueberry cheesecake. He wanted me to put blueberries on it. Thank you. I was like, I hadn't seen that before, but I thought it was a good idea. I was like, I hope I didn't mess it up. You like the yellow? Thank you. Yes, it's a jumpsuit. And then steak and strawberries, cream. It's so pretty. I don't know if you can see this. It's so delicious. When I make this stuff, you see that? I don't want to eat it. It's so pretty. It's like art. I worked so hard on it. And I have 24K gold. Isn't that beautiful? I hope you think it's as pretty as I do. While I had it ready, I don't want to mess this up. I had this in the freezer. This is the way he wanted it. You see, so chilling. Isn't that beautiful? I have strawberries and cream, vanilla ice cream. Hold a trial for set. Okay, good. Good. I know. So we'll find out if it really goes through. And I have this cake in the background. Okay. This is why I came. I wanted to briefly go back into some things for you. Yom Kippur is, what is it, tomorrow? Thursday. It's another holy day. Yom Kippur, Hebrew Israelites, and also it's a Jewish holiday. And it is very important, at least for me. Nipsey wants me to celebrate these holy days, and it also helps for protection. Thank you. Somebody sent me a text and said, "Oh my God, it looks so good." I ate. I had to work so hard, hey bird, to not eat too much. I enjoy myself when I'm making the plates. Many times I'm eating while I'm making his plate, and I'm like, I know I don't need to eat, but I'm sorry, baby, I'm eating out of your plate. And I want to, hey Christine, thank you. Like really weird. I've been dealing with a lot of electronic dysfunction since the last show. It's really weird. All of my alarms, my smoke detectors and stuff, they've been going off. It just went off. I don't know if you heard it a few minutes ago. It's going like crazy. Upstairs, downstairs. They were not doing that. Hi, money. So let me tell you something. I'm going to briefly get into it. I wanted to address some more things that came up with Tori, the 18-year-old that was found in Yellow River Park. Thank you. Glad you like the gold. Yellow gold. Yellow River Park. Her birthday was Thursday, September the 16th, 2021. I'm going to go back over some things that also came up here that I feel affect everybody. Yeah, we just came out of Rosh Hashanah, and then now we're getting ready to go into Yom Kippur. We got Rosh Hashanah, and last week was Jewish New Year, and a few days after that was the Eritrean New Year, and now we're going into Yom Kippur, which are very high holy days and very important for protection. Watch who you deal with, who you talk to. I've made up my mind, especially I'm still offering the Vagina Power, the Spiritual Sexuality 101, Learn to Stand in Your Power. And one thing I've made up my mind that I do, and I don't care what people think or say about it, when somebody acts like they're standing on the fence and they see somebody lie on me, to me, about me, and fuck me over, and then they say, well, I'm not going to choose. I like both of you. I learned from both of you. And you know that person violated me and lied on me and have not to this day proven what they said about me. Then I'm going to make the choice for you. Stay the fuck away from me. Don't talk to me. Don't come around me. Don't contact me for any readings or any services. Whatever services you want from this moment on, you go over to that fat bitch that told those filthy ass sexual lies on me that she still has not proven, that I've been waiting for her to bring the witnesses forward and even the sex partners that she said that I performed these sex acts on that she knew she was fucking lying about when she said it. Foghorn Leghorn knew that she was lying about that. Or is it Akuna Matata? That big goddamn warthog with them two long hooked up shit hooks hanging out her goddamn mouth on the Lion King, switching her stinking ass through the goddamn forest, singing Akuna Matata. If she can't do that, and you can't make her do that, and you say you don't really care about it, that means you don't give a fuck about me. And I'm making the choice for you because you already made the choice. In the indecision or in the refusal to choose her over me or me over her, you already made the choice. So I'm going to make an additional choice for you. Stay the fuck away from me. Don't ever fucking contact me again. And if you all care anything about yourself, I don't care how much you think the person means to you, if they can choose another bitch over you and the motherfucker slanderize you and they can't prove that what they said is true, and if they can say, well, I like both of you and I'm in the middle and I'm not going to choose, and they know that person did you wrong and you didn't do anything to justify what they did and they cannot prove what they said about you, cut the bitch off. And I want to say to you all that did take up for me, because you did not find any justification in the filthy lies that were told on me, and she could not prove what she said about me, and you never heard me say anything about her, and you went over there and you said something to her about it, and you even asked her to prove it, and you see that I went over there too, and I told her she was a liar, and I asked her to prove what she said about me, and to this day she still has not. And so I love you and support you that did stand up for me, because you knew that shit was wrong. And you knew I didn't do anything to deserve it, and she's a liar. You, I fuck with because you fuck with me. You made a decision, and seeing how you roll with me, and if somebody came to me and said some shit about you, and I know that you roll with me, the choice is going to be you over them. So it's very clear what it is, and you're a stupid bitch if you let a bitch hear another bitch stab you and still say, I'm going to roll with both of y'all, I'm going to be cool with both of y'all. I mean, that means that she don't really give a fuck about you. You don't mean a motherfucking thing to them. If they know another bitch doing you wrong and they're going to stand in the middle and they're a coward too, to not make a fucking choice. And you don't mean enough to them to make a fucking choice to choose you. So in their indecision, they still made a choice to choose neither fucking one and float in the fucking middle. No, you don't float in the middle with me. Because every time I've done that, and it brought old wounds up about my own fucking mother saying filthy sexual shit like that when I was 5 and 6 years old. From that point all the way up, never proving it, never feeling like she had to prove it. I can say what I want to. I can lie on my daughter if I want to. And I just like doing that. And my grandmother is the same fat ass way. And the 3 bitches I could think of that wounded me like that is all built up like Akuna Matata. That fucking warthog from goddamn Lion King, all fucked up, built in the motherfucking middle. A big old stinking ass with a big old long ass stomach with all kind of shit caked up in it and fucking bagged up in it, and long fucking titties with a big fat meat ass motherfucking hog head that starts shit and like to attack other women that don't do anything to them, and they just want to go at them. And then other women in my family would sit there and watch that shit and go along with that shit and knew she was hurting me, knew she was lying on her fucking daughters, and sit there and listen to that shit and go along with that shit and wouldn't fucking stand up. Well, I'm not going to get it in, and that's your mother. But still, you was cool with her and fucking with her because she had money to give you a reputation in the house. And I didn't mean as much because I'm just a daughter, and your daughter, which is my mother, or your sister, which is my mother, or your fucking cousin, which is my mother. Really what you're saying is the bitch means more to you than me. The bitch has more value to you than me. Whenever a woman sees another woman, go for a young girl or go for a woman that ain't did nothing to her, and she's lying, and she keeps saying she's not lying, but she cannot prove this shit, but you're saying this shit, the lie you tell with such conviction that people are confused, but then they're a coward, too big of a fucking coward to confront you and make you show that what you're saying, the filthy shit you're saying, is true. So, like a fucking coward, you stand in the middle and you don't confront the woman that is going after another fucking woman, because it doesn't really mean that much to you. And the more I think about it, and how it triggered me, because that's still a wound from growing up with women around me that did that to the little girls. So I don't do that. Unless I know for a fact you did it. Or if I'm seeing it, even if I see it in the spirit, I'm saying allegedly, and I still wait for the proof, and I don't get the proof, I apologize and take it back. But just to sit and go after other women and attack them and then think it's funny and tell filthy lies on them with conviction, but I know I'm lying and I know I can't prove what the fuck I'm saying, I don't do that. So when I see a woman that will do that, and when I see a woman that's easy to fucking turn on me, and I haven't done anything to you, you have one time, and that's your last fucking time. There's no 3 strikes, you're out. There's the one time you show me your character or lack of character, and you have no integrity, then let that be the last time you say something to me, because I'm not going to let you get close enough to me to fucking do that shit again. I can't stop what you say. I can't control what you say, but I can control, make sure I don't fuck with you, especially if you can't prove what you said about me. And any female, not grown woman with honor and integrity, female that will go along with that and tell me, like a woman tried to tell me the other day, I'm not going to choose and you misunderstood. There's no way I can misunderstood what the fuck was said about me. You said, this lady said, tried to compliment me and then stab me in the same fucking breath. No, I don't have a mental problem like people try to say I'm crazy. No, I understood exactly what that meant. Anytime a bitch can say a compliment about you and then a backhanded compliment and then come around and slide a knife under your fucking ribs, the bitch don't give a fuck about you and the bitch don't need to be fucked with no fucking more. And any other female that can justify that shit is not standing in vagina power, and you definitely not standing in it with me, and you're not encouraging me to stand in it for myself, because you're teaching me to lower my view of myself and my opinion of myself and invalidate what the fuck I feel in my gut. What the fuck I feel in my solar plexus, that I feel like you just fucked over me and you just fucking stabbed me. Saying something like that about somebody is not a fucking compliment, and you're going to tell me that I misunderstood it? Everybody else that said something about it to her and said it was wrong, did they misunderstand too? They knew an insult when they fucking heard it, and it wasn't even about their pussy, it was about mine. And if you're going to stand in vagina power, then that's one of the things you do. Even when it's difficult and you don't want to cut a bitch off. When a bitch will cut your throat and just laugh and make a joke out of it, and based on lies, she want to cut you so bad she can't even find no true fucked up shit to say about you. So she makes up lies. And any bitch around you that can justify the lie and say you took it wrong, it was a misunderstanding. But if it was said about them or somebody they gave a fuck about, or a female they motherfucking love, they wouldn't have took it that way or said that they misunderstood at all. They would have defended the person or defended themselves, but because it's me, and you're basically saying you don't give a fuck about me, oh, I misunderstood that I was called a cum-guzzling whore that likes to have cum shot all over the pores of my goddamn skin by strangers. You tried to tell me that I need to be clear in my mind and tell myself I misunderstood that. You are not my friend. You are not a confidant. You are not a supporter of mine. Stay the fuck away from me. Because any woman that will let people justify that you don't feel what you feel and don't trust your intuition and don't respect yourself and pull away from women that stab you and say it really wasn't a stab that bad. You misunderstood and I'm not going to turn on her and I don't think you should either, even though she said you're a goddamn whore. No, you will not be in my world. I don't know you. You don't exist to me anymore because you just said I was nothing to you. Because anybody that you really love or that you really respect and that you really support, you are not going to listen to another woman tear them down and then tell them they didn't hear the woman tearing them down. And what they said was so disgusting, there's no way you could misunderstand that they were tearing me down. Or if I see a bitch I rock with and you tear her down. If I hear some shit like that, whoever fucking said it, don't ever fucking speak to me again. Somebody look out for me, do readings for me, feed me, have my back. You're not going to talk about them and then I tell them, oh, I think you misunderstood. He called you a whore and you let people come on you. Oh, I think you misunderstood and I'm still going to fuck with him, fuck with you. If I said that to a person, I would expect them not to speak to me either. If they were standing in vagina power and had a lot of self-respect, honor, and integrity for themselves. And they trusted their intuition. So we're going to get into, if you want to be in Vagina Power 101, that's the first thing you got to do. Get rid of any bitch that would justify violations to you. And then talk you out of what you feel in your intuition that you were fucked over. Okay, moving on. Now what I want to say, I hear people talking about the sun. The sun you see is not the sun that it used to be. People in that sun need to stay the fuck out of that sun. I've heard people talk about you go in that sun and that sun is your friend. That sun is not your friend. Not that one, not the way it is, and not everything that's been projected into it. It is the son of a god, of a lesser god. It is not the son of your God. It is the son of man, the lower one that has injected metallic particles that are associated with 5G and these shots to destroy your immune system and lower your frequency and destroy the pineal and the pituitary and all of the male and female reproductive organs. That is what I'm saying to you. I dropped that, but I'm going to get into that in a deeper, another show. What I just want to mention it to you. What I also want to say, when I look back at Tori Lane, and, yeah, okay. When I looked at Tori Lang, the girl that was murdered in the park that I started the reading on the other day, I came back to it because the black dog, which would also be dealing with Sirius Star, the Sirius constellation, the Sirius star system, the black dog. And I kept saying, the black dog is in my house, following Tori Lang around, licking Tori's hand, and she knew the dog, and she was at her so-called fake best friend's house, whose mother is Ethiopian or Eritrean, and that girl helped set her up because her best friend's baby daddy shot her. She touched the gun that the man shot Tori Lang with and helped to break up and hide that gun. That is what I'm seeing. And the dog was telling me, and I wondered, why is that dog here every day? I was wondering, why am I seeing the dog around me? Am I telepathically connecting with the dog? Like I telepathically connected with other people's dogs, and like I telepathically connected with Larry Lightfoot dog, the mayor of Chicago. When I got off the phone, when I got off the show, my friend said, and I showed her the dog, showed her the screenshot, and I didn't read what was above it. She said, do you realize this dog was hit by a car Saturday and this dog is physically dead? And I said, I did not know that dog was dead. That's why I see it so much with Tori. That's why it keeps trotting through my house and going up and down the stairs and licking Tori, and it's at the gravesite with Tori, and it moves around with Tori because the dog was physically killed. it blew my mind that I was seeing it. I wonder why I was seeing it so much, and it was hanging over here, and it was hanging around telling me all this information. The dog told me more stuff, and then the native ancestors and the African ancestors, the indigenous black Indians, and some slaves told me about the parks that were here. Stone Mountain Park, I have to look at it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Some black people and some African people told me they were auctioned off and they were enslaved and murdered in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and Stone Mountain Park. Now, I know I got it mixed up. That's not Stone Mountain Park she was in. That's Yellow River Park. However, the reason why I get it mixed up, because two things. I feel like she was in Stone Mountain. She was hanging in Stone Mountain with those men and women that set her up, and the Yellow River Park that they say is in Gwinnett is also the address is Stone Mountain, Georgia. So I don't know why, hi Shiba Baby, they're saying this is Gwinnett County, but then the address is Stone Mountain, Georgia. Okay, yes, home of the clan Stone Mountain is. The slaves got up, the half black, half Native Americans, and then the black Indians were up, and they are in the park. They're with Tori, as well as some white people that were murdered. Women were raped and beat up in the park and left in there, and I saw them in the water, like swimming out in Yellow River Park in Stone Mountain. Then I saw downtown Stone Mountain. Some of these people that were with her, set her up, have drug houses out here, DeKalb County, Lithonia, Stone Mountain, as well as that Yellow River area. She has been to that park before with her family, and she's hung out with some of them that she was with, but I don't see they were hanging out that night. That park was used as a dumping ground, and I'm kind of confused. And I'm going to tell you why I'm confused, because I don't know if she was shot and killed at the park, or was she already dying? Was she already shot, like laying down, and then moved and laid on the ground or in front of the tree, already having a problem staying conscious? This is why, okay, the spirits were also saying there's a problem with fluids. Fluids in our bodies, fluids in the female body, fluids in the parks, fluids. There are cities underground, under parks that have fluids, reservoirs, waters, problems with living waters, infections with water sources, reservoirs that we use. There's going to be problems coming up with water shortages and pollution of waters and shortages of waters. There is problems with body fluids, and there's problems with the fluids in Tori Lange's body. Arteries, veins, which are highways and byways for fluids, lymph fluids, bloods, and plasma, which has started to separate, which will deal with her blood, arteries, veins, heart, her circulatory system, nose. And when I looked at the guy that was supposed to be her boyfriend that was involved in the murder, he has problems with his nose. The upper snout shit in his nose, pop them pills in his mouth, and is a drinker. This guy sells drugs, he does drugs, but I'm also seeing this guy has a weird upper respiratory infection, a sinus infection. I don't know if it's because of bad drugs, or if he snorted cocaine. The dog, the black dog, the Sirius dog from the Sirius constellation and star system. And let me tell you something else about Sirius that they're teaching me. And the dog also said it. There's not a Sirius A, there's Sirius B. I see a Sirius A, Sirius B, Sirius C, Sirius D. And different ones. One of them is ruled by the Pleiadians, and one is ruled by the Anunnaki. They're different races. One will be black, so-called African of descent, or created the people of color and native, other people of color, and the Latin people, Mexican people. Then the other one would be over the so-called European or white, or blue-eyed blonde, or the gray. These are all deep and different levels of different constellational channels, tunnels, wormholes, and byways in the Sirius constellation, which would also be dealing with Orion. So they're taking me there. So I know what this black doll means is why it's hanging here, which would also be tying into Nipsey. So I am looking and listening to this dog. It's telling me that the dog say the nigga sell dope and got a special type of lean that's hot in Atlanta and that's hot in different parts of the United States. That's what the dog said. He seen the nigga make this goddamn lean. And the dog hung around the house and said it's a dope house near the best friend house, which will be the Ethiopian lady. Her daughter that helped set the girl up said by her house is a goddamn trap house, goddammit. Said they have the lean, it's a special lean. The dog said the lean real good. And it like it, I don't know if that's Coca-Cola or got some goddamn grape drink or some shit in the shit or some cough syrup, but the dog said it be different colors. It showed me different colors of this goddamn lean, but said the nigga make a lean that's off the chain, real thick and rich and real goddamn strong, and said the nigga handle that fentanyl. But said, y'all need to be careful if y'all in Atlanta taking these pills. He says a designer pill, one of the pills is a fake pill, and one of it is full of fentanyl, but then he showed me a powder. So I don't know if that's cocaine powder, or does fentanyl also come in a powder form? I don't know if they sniff this shit, smoke this shit. Y'all got to fill me in. And thank you. He was telling me that, the dog was telling me that, and said that a lot of people are going to come up dead from these designer drugs here. And this drug with this fentanyl in it, say got a very good source of supply from the fentanyl and the designer pill that they be selling, and he be popping the pill. Said it's coming from out of town, and I also see a Mexican connection with it. In Georgia, leaving town and going to California and other different states too, and bringing the shit back down here, but got a connect that's also right here, and that's also tied into the gang, dealing with drugs, drug dealing, prostitution, murder, and robbery, and said the crime rate is going to get worse here. Robberies, home invasion, carjacking, because a lot of these people don't feel because they get high before they commit a murder or another kind of crime. So Kankiba, see, they said people don't know that fentanyl is in the shit, and it's going to be more deaths and more crime waves coming down here. And then the dog showed me the nigga some kind of music, but it didn't sound like regular rap music. It kind of remind me of that Chicago music with King Von them. What they call that music, that them Chicago boy, LPG and King Von, that circle right there. Say it's called Fitting Now, and it's an uploader, and you can get it in a liquid form. Some of it be in that syrup, the dog tell me. Like a liquid be in that syrup. So many have already died in Cali. That drill, for some reason, it sounded like the drill in Atlanta. So I'm like, I wonder if some of the people that, the young people like the drill down here, they're listening to the drill down here. No, it's not trap. I'm from the South, so I know trap. You can't tell me. I know trap, and I love trap music. It's not that. The beat is different, and it's faster, and the way it moves different. It reminds me of the Chicago. So that means people are down here from Chicago, and people in the gangs are down here from Chicago, as well as in the rap and in the gang, and they are selling this. So, no, I know trap music. That's my shit. The rhythm, the dog let me hear it. And they're combining it with the niggas down here and the rappers and the gang. It does give me a drill feeling. For some reason, it's not a house music. You said fentanyl is also in the fake weed. They sell it in the smoke shop. Yes, they are, and they all get money moved there. Okay, let me tell you something, what the dog showed me, because it was digging in the ground. Digging in for a worm, a particular parasite, a worm, and an insect, but I thought it didn't quite look like a fly, but maybe it's another species, a mosquito. It didn't look like a regular mosquito that I saw. It was also another insect, and the wings almost looked like a blue iridescent. When the dog showed me Tori Lang's boyfriend that was involved in her murder, he has a bad upper respiratory infection, a bad sinus infection, and when I looked in his nose, I saw the fluids of his body were off. I saw a couple of things. I saw drug or residue in his nose, like on this side, in the middle, and this side, like it was damaged in the lining of it. And then going up into the brain, I saw worms, like parasites, in his brain and the central nervous system. This guy has a really bad sinus infection, and it goes all the way down to his nuts. It goes all the way down to his testicles. So this is tied to another woman that he has sex with here and in another state. He uses women, he beats them, he pulls guns on them, he takes their money, he robs them. This guy is very abusive and very violent, but he's very good sexually. But this guy, and let me tell you, and the dog told me that he got it from an insect that is here in Georgia. It's not very bad yet, but it is from another state. Yeah, he does powder, pills, and potions, and he likes that lean. He's one of the sellers of that lean, as well as her fake best friend's baby daddy, because it's maybe two or three hot types of lean that they make in Georgia that's really good, and the way they make it so strong, people always looking for them getting that lean. It's not like everybody else's lean. Yes, it's a blue. One of them that I see is a blue, real deep and rich, and it's real thick, and it's real good, and it's sweet. Very addictive, but very dangerous. And he said one of them, for some reason, I see fentanyl associated. Okay. This is what the dog also told me. This guy went out of town, and there's an insect. The insect had some type of virus. And I saw it in his nose and in his upper respiratory and the sinuses, and I saw the worms dancing around in his brain, which could also cause him a bad brain infection or possible encephalitis. So I said, is this Zika? But I looked at the CDC, and it said that there are not that many cases of Zika in Georgia for 2021, but I still feel like it's here. And if it's not just that, yes, I do feel like it's some drill. So some of these people are from Chicago and go back and forth up there, bring the dope, do the dope there, and also bring it here and do it here. I see there's a population of gang members, GDBD, and some of them are rappers tied to the drill music. No, it's not a tape. Of course, it could be a tape. This is not a tape. I'm telling you, this worm is from an insect, or it's from a mosquito. There is what is this? Because it's a botfly. Okay, a botfly can lay eggs in a mosquito, and then a mosquito will bite a human and pass the worm into the human. And those things will travel all over the body and lay eggs all over the body, full of worms. So it's not just Zika. It could be something else. It could also be another insect. But one looks like a mosquito, but I'm wondering, I have to look at pictures of mosquito and other insects, because this insect that I saw did not come from Georgia. It's new here, just like they're saying that hammerhead worm that's new and it's hard to kill it, and they said on the news, pour salt on it. You cut it, this worm will go back together and grow back together. It's hard to kill. You have to pour salt on this worm. Do not touch it. It's very poisonous. A lot of homeowners in Atlanta have been seeing this thing. This insect with this worm in it, that it got in it from another animal, this virus comes from hot, wet regions and swamp regions, or countries like that. People that are coming from countries like that, Florida, different parts of Florida, New Orleans, California. If they've traveled outside of the United States to Mexico, Rio, to other countries that would have something like that, that type of insect, and they were bitten, they don't know, and have that worm in the body. That worm moves through the eyes. That's what the dog told me, that's associated with Tori Lang. I wonder what her autopsy saying, or did they check her for that? Because if I see it, you said they won't let me post it, but it's more deadlier than crystal meth. No, it's a bot. Yeah, a bot fly can bite a mosquito and infect the mosquito with worms, and then they bite and suck the blood and transfer a whole bunch of worms into the human. They'll spread all over the body if the human doesn't catch it and kill it. The dog told me that Tori's boyfriend, that lover, has that in his nose. I saw it in his nose. I saw it. He had a really bad upper respiratory infection, a bad sinus infection, and it was tied to drugs and sex from another woman that he had sex with on protection and put his mouth on her. Had that all in his mouth, and I saw the worms wiggling around in the back of the nose going up into the brain, and I saw a couple in the spinal column and in the spinal fluid, and the dog told me, and I started looking it up, that particular insect, a small amount of them right now that is carrying particular viruses, maybe more than one, and Zika might be one, is in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm saying Tori's lover, the one that was tied to her murder, has that problem with his sinuses. So that means if he has it, that means Tori had it. And that's why I'm wondering, why was I feeling like I had to pass out the other day when I thought of her? And when she was shot, before she was shot, was she groggy or was she getting high? Because when I looked at her and I looked in his mouth and I looked at Tori, I also smelled and saw marijuana, and I saw alcohol around her as well. That insect with that worm, and the guy, her lover, with the sinus problem, and then I'm seeing he was someplace hot, humid, and wet around big bodies of water like ocean, where those types of bugs and insects would be, and that are bringing them in from other countries. He was infected. Thank you, Sting, for telling people to click the like button, subscribe, share the video. I'm seeing that that was a problem, and they're passing that on the low. Somebody has that in Georgia, and if they don't get themselves checked, and they keep sleeping around with these people. Okay, so they said they have a pill factory and a fentanyl, and they sell powder here in a popular lean in Georgia. And he gets this from an out-of-town connect. He deals with the violence, robberies. All these things are going to increase in Georgia, and that there's a drug war and a rivalry and territorial disputes or redistribution and division of territories with gangs that are also tied to hip-hop is going to be happening right now in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's saying drill music. So that means somebody also in Atlanta that's dealing with Chicago and drug busts. I saw K9s. It's going to be more drug busts and crimes and murders happening here because of the wave of the organized crime groups that are also tied to gangbangers and rap that are controlled by that, and that are also in that industry, have moved into Georgia and gotten bigger. And I wanted to say, one of the young men that is associated with Tori Lang's murder has relatives that work for law enforcement. That's one reason why one of the boys that was involved with killing Tori and was a co-conspirator in it is not talking, because I see two men. One of them looks like a detective, and he does not work out in the street like a police officer does. He works in the administrative level. He has access to all the databases, to the FBI files. And this needs to be dug into deeper, possibly by GBI and FBI. And the interest needs to build in it. But one of the young men that was involved in shooting her, setting her to be killed and laying her out there and hiding it, one is young and very feminine that went to high school with her. He's panicking and talking to them and worried about what they might find out or if they might question him because he's scared to be questioned because he doesn't know how to deal with pressure. Because he's really not a hardcore criminal. He didn't kill her, but he knows that his friends did. But the other one that was involved in it, there are two. Her boyfriend and her so-called best friend's boyfriend, baby daddy, did this. And the girl, supposed to be her best friend, is covering for it. And she really didn't like Tori. She's jealous of Tori. She's not a best friend. She's going to cover for the boy. She's dirty as hell. And she do treacherous shit and do phone fraud and check fraud and bank fraud with her baby daddy. And he whorish as hell. They be fighting each other about pussy. She be fighting that boy and they argue about pussy, money, and weed because he likes to fuck different girls up and rob them and get access to their check and bank account and shit and fuck them in their ass while he on that motherfucking molly. Like he is fucking them and shifting gears and doing hydraulics. Like instead of a regular automatic shift in your car, the nigga fucks you like the dick is a stick shift and switching his ass and get these bitches turned out on their goddamn dick, and that's all he want. It's not no fucking good. And she knows it. The baby mama know it, but she still wants to be with him in a goddamn way and know that he sets women up and fucks them over and set Tori up. One of them, I feel like it's between those two. Might be a third young man involved that has somebody working in law enforcement that tell them what's going on with her case and make sure that they shut up, don't answer any questions, don't give them any reason to check their stories or investigate them so that the police won't suspect and get a search warrant. They actually have people in law enforcement to tell them what is going on. And then when I looked, I think in Tori's body, or the dog showed me in the young man's nose. Excuse me, for some reason, I don't know if they got Tori Lange's clothes. And did they find fibers on Tori Lange's clothes? I know it's probably impossible. The chances are very slim to find fibers on inside of the car. Thank you. The West Coast is the biggest distributors. Yes, it goes from there down to here. And for some reason, I am seeing that Tori, I see microscopic fibers from a baby. It looks like either a flowered baby blanket or a quilt or a spread. Weed. Let me look at this and read this. Microscopic fibers present from a blanket or spread. I see baby pampers and DNA and fluids from milk, baby milk, formulas. I see it's either a baby seat or a car seat. I saw smoke and picked up smoke from two men. One went to high school with Tori Lange and has the mother issues, the ones that's very, very afraid because he'll fall apart because he's not used to being in trouble and it'd be difficult for him to be questioned. He doesn't want to be questioned. And he talks a lot like a female. He's very feminine. He's not a female, but he's very, very feminine and talks soft. He's very scary, very, very timid and cowardly. He's like his mother. He has a lot of his mother's energy. And the parents, most of them don't even know that these boys are involved in doing some shit like this or knowing about it and won't tell. Okay? I also saw the man that was dating Tori Lange threaten her because he said that Tori was playing games with him and he called her a bitch. He's like, I don't know who you think you're fucking with or you think you're playing games with between me and this other nigga, like you trying to fuck with me or make me jealous or upset me. Don't fuck up and make me do something to you. But still, when I look at this, And the only reason, like I said, I'm going back into this is because it affects all of us when they mention the drugs, the crime, the insect and possible mosquito with this virus and other insects here with people from other countries or people that have traveled to other countries and go other places where there's a high popularity that's traveled in and out, where they these strains of viruses and diseases from dealing with people from other countries and coming there bringing this to Georgia. That's why I wanted to say, because seeing it in her murder, I felt that all of us needs to know, well, they have to take the organs out when they do an autopsy. That's not rare. That doesn't mean they used them. It depends, what they took or what they used, or if they asked the parents to take something. But there's no way you can do an autopsy on somebody without cutting them and removing the organs. And peeling the head back, peeling the skin down like a mask, getting a saw, sawing the skull open, popping it open, taking the top off, and digging the brains out. I'm sorry, that's the only way that's going to be done. There's no way around it. And that doesn't mean they sold them. But they're not going to be able to put them back in like they took them out, because they're literally disconnecting them to see the cause of death and weighing and cutting them and sending them for analysis and toxicology. That has to be done. I'm sorry. Anybody that gets an autopsy, that's what's going to happen to you. So if you don't want that done, tell your family that you don't want it done. But when somebody's been murdered, most of the time they do it. Oh gosh, you guys, my battery is going down. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I'm going to come back soon, okay?